So I'm talking with the Chief Minister. It's a catch-up. Thank you for this, because we don't do them every week. It's as and when.
Yeah.
A busy day being Friday today anyway, because there's the promenade issue going on next door, which we're going to cover.
Yeah.
Any points on that you want to make? The promenade. You got faith in your minister on that one? I'm going to ask you that probably about every department.
Well, about every department.
Yeah.
I mean, of course I do. Obviously, this is the biggest piece of work that's going on in the island in, living memory. I think it was 70 years since the last time it was done. It's a bit of a minefield. Obviously, they've planned for as much as they possibly could of the unforeseen, but they've been finding drains at different heights and had been recorded infrastructure that hadn't been mapped from 70 years ago,
Okay.
and it has delayed it.
And that you understand, but when you see the cracking and the noise of the rails is an issue there.
Yeah.
This is now much more worrying, surely. This is like a Richmond Hill, isn't it?
Well, no, I think the rails has been sorted, the noise. So it was good that we did have the trial with the horse trams going that short distance, because it's brought the problem to the front. The engineers have come up with a solution and it's fixed now. The cracks, I'm not an engineer, obviously that's got to be looked at and that will be monitored. I mean, the biggest concern I have, and I had this concern from day one, and it's something you're never going to fix, but how we address it is looking after businesses. I'm very business focused,
right.
And I had concerns about what would happen to businesses on the promenade, and I think we can and must do better and help those businesses through this difficult period.
And they will want to hear that, because, but they want compensation, or they need some rate reductions or something.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at that to see what we've already been helping as much as we possibly can with additional car park. But I think I've challenged the department to look at other ways to help these businesses. As I say, we do have roadworks going on through the rest of the island, and businesses are affected, but I think everyone would concede that this is a one-off, a major event,
sure.
And we need to do our utmost to help out.
Well, I touched on it. Richmond Hill, a bit of a disaster there. It still hasn't sorted itself out, has it?
Yeah, but that's a private company. It's not going to cost the taxpayer a penny, Paul, and yes, it's regrettable, but we don't live in a utopian world as much as we would want to, and as long as it's fixed, it's not costing the taxpayer any additional funds. That's the most important thing.
Let's talk about SAVE. That's gone through a lot of it, although it seemed to go quiet for a long time. But the airport's a big issue there, right?
Yeah.
It's losing, £3 million a year was losing. I mean, that's...
Well, from the income it generates to what it is.
Are you surprised that sort of number?
Well, we've all known that it's been losing money for a while, Paul. It's just trying to get as efficient as possible.
It can never make money, though, can it?
Well, other airports do, the really big ones. I mean, John Lennon, for example, those of you who, all of us go to Liverpool on a regular basis, whether it be for hospital visits, see family and friends, or children at university, or... Yeah,
but you've done things like charging that £1 to park, which annoys everyone the hell out of. I mean, it's just, you've got the coppers going around constantly just moving people along.
Yes, but if I go to a UK airport, Paul, I can't even pull in a lay-by to drop people off. If you get a taxi into Liverpool Airport, you have to pay, the taxi has to pay to get into the airport to drop you off, and that's reflected in the price.
And that blanking out of the arrivals there.
I had to ask what on earth was going on there, because we're all used to as locals seeing our loved ones come off the plane. Maybe you haven't seen your kids for a fortnight, and they're there giving you a lovely wave.
And what do you think?
Well, I was just as disappointed as anyone. However, I've been told that from a security point of view, that's what's expected, that we've got to do. And we have to follow the international laws on.
Is it international or just a UK following them?
Well, I should imagine it's following UK. It's not. I would hope it's not a case of someone's woken up at the airport.
What is the security issue of seeing people picking up their luggage? I cannot even imagine how they can really sell that to anybody.
Well, there are some laws that you do question what on earth is this about. But equally, if we want to comply and are to be able to have access to other routes, etc., we have to follow the rules, and some rules all of us must think, what on earth's that about? And I was one of those, but we've got to comply with it. That's it, I'm afraid.
I'm moving along fast today because our time slot is so limited. Mr. Kajin, his handling of education, come on. Read the report and all those sort of things. You can't seriously tell me you support that manner of, and the parliamentary language was, I think, is probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah, I don't think Minister Kajin did himself any favours in Tynwald, and I think he's the first to admit that. He is very passionate and supportive of the Department of Education, Sport and Culture, and I think he got carried away. He wasn't happy with the way the comments were framed, and irrespective of whether the comments weren't correct in the opening speech of the backbencher, I don't expect my ministers to behave like that. But we all have bad days in the office.
You going to address him down?
Yeah, of course I've spoken to him. He realised...
Addressing down?
He didn't need... Well, yes, he was told... he'd let himself down, and he agreed with me on that aspect. So that none of us are perfect. We have bad days.
You still support him?
I still support him from that episode. Obviously, as your next question is going to be, and I never duck these questions.
The reshuffle now. Well, come on, this is it now, surely.
No,
he's going, right? You're going to move him on, aren't you?
I've had a complaint from the National Association of Head Teachers, which you know about, and I only received it on what day would say on Wednesday night. Yeah. I saw it on Thursday morning because I was in Tynwald till late, and I will consider that complaint. I will have it investigated, and I'll wait to see what the outcome is.
If he hasn't got the support of teachers, there's a problem, isn't there?
Well, this is the National Association of Head Teachers, and I've got to have
pretty impressive calibre there.
Yes, but let's say you're in it. I'm not going to decide either way until I've had an independent. But what I will be doing is having an independent report into the complaints.
You're probably actually looking forward to this moment because this gives you a reshuffle finally. I mean, we've it's coming now. Don't tell me it's not happening. You're going to reshuffle. You're going to bring in new ministers, people that need that experience before election.
Well, I think, Paul, it's unfair to speculate until an independent review has been done. Okay. So let's leave it at that.
But park that. Are you going to have a reshuffle?
Well, I haven't got anything planned.
You haven't?
No. At some stage, I plan on having a backbench reshuffle because I think it will be important that some of the backbenchers who want to maybe stand again get as much experience in another department.
Oh, just move the departments around?
Yeah, move them around in departments.
What about your ministers, though? Surely you've got to. You came in on a reshuffle, didn't you?
Yes.
I mean, don't you think that helped you no end to get that experience level?
Absolutely. And, you can never say never, but I haven't had the thought in my mind that it's absolutely desperate that I must kick ministers out and bring in new blood at this moment in time.
That's going to be the worry, that if you kick somebody out, if in other words they're forced out, they're going to be trouble. I understand that. Well, you want someone to say to you, I'm not standing again in 2 years' time, I'm going to up into the pastures somewhere else, but that gives you the reason that, therefore you can step down. Am I correct on this? You don't want to push, you'd rather they just stood down.
Well, when you have got 8 ministers plus myself working to the best of their abilities for the good of the island and things are going well, why would you want to change that team?
But is it going well now? Isn't that feeling now until, I only go there once a month, but it's like suddenly don't you feel that you need a refresh if nothing else? I'm being polite here. It's stagnating in certain areas, surely.
Well, we're 3 years into this programme for government. It's going well. We're on schedule. There's very little.
Are you happy with it?
I am happy with the hard work that they all give. And just because they've been there for 3 years doesn't mean to say, right, your user date is up and you've got to be hoofed out and bring in you.
You need to bring. You said it yourself. You need to bring. At some point, you're going to do it, right? You're going to have to.
You have to bring forward new people, and moving them around other departments is another way of giving them experience.
Because that's rearranging the deck chairs.
Well, no, if you're, say, in the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, it's logical that maybe a year or two in another department would be good for your career development to get an experience, so that if you're re-elected and you become a minister, then you've got experience at working at a couple, if not 3 departments. So if you're asked to be a minister, you have a greater understanding of how some of the departments work.
Okay, well, we'll finish this by saying just watch this space, because I'm hearing it from all directions that something's going on, but then I hear that all the time. We'll see, right?
We will indeed, Paul. I'm sure we'll have more chats about this topic.